Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Amelia. I'm the president of the Mind Body Expo, and today you are watching an episode of the Corona Reset MBE series. I'm here with one of our sponsors, Lo Carter, who is a professional Ayurvedic lifestyle coach and has such a plethora of amazing information regarding how to address the root cause of health imbalance, which is the topic that we'll be discussing today. So, Lo, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, Emilia. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to have the opportunity to chat with you.
Yes, definitely. And I love speaking with you as well because you have such interesting information about this ancient form of medicine, of health, of lifestyle that really addresses your mind, body, and spirit as a whole. So this topic is very intriguing to me, and it's very near and dear to my heart. I love using these techniques because I know they work, because we're addressing the root cause. Now, before we open up and get into discussing what Ayurveda is, can you please tell me a little bit, why is it important to address the root cause of any health imbalances rather than just your symptoms?
Yeah, absolutely. It almost goes without saying, but I think that a lot of people are actually asking themselves this question. So thank you. It's a great question. Well, the main reason is because if you just address the symptoms from an Ayurvedic perspective, wherever the root imbalance is, it's going to show up in other places in the body or even in the mind, right? So you may be addressing one symptom, and then it is most likely that you're going to get another symptom someplace else, and then another symptom someplace else. It's just like, that's really what this is about. As opposed to when you address the root, then you are preventing the triggering of other symptoms and really making sure that you stay well and healthy over the long term.
Yes, wonderful. I could really resonate with that. We get prescribed so many different medicines to address those symptoms, and then they just continue manifesting as other symptoms. So what is Ayurveda? I know that it was something that was discovered, or it's said to be discovered around 5,000 years ago. Can you go a little bit into that and what it is to live an Ayurvedic lifestyle?
Absolutely. So discovered is not really the word I would use. From the Ayurvedic folklore, really, it is in a deep state of meditation, in a deep state of connection with the world within, that the ancient sages intuited or were inspired with the knowledge of Ayurveda, right? And so some say it is about 5,000 years old. Others said it's even older. It's as old as, human beings have been on this planet and asked, why? Why am I here? Really? And so it hails from India. And it is one of the world's oldest system of natural and holistic healthcare. And holistic, as you said, really is a mind, body, and spirit medicine.
Wow, that's a wonderful explanation. Thank you so much for that clarification. So it's definitely ancient wisdom that we hold, and it's so powerful. Now, when we're talking about Ayurveda, what do you address within Ayurveda that you can begin to tell us to discover who we are as a human being?
Yes, beautiful. So what I address specifically is what I call myself an Ayurvedic diet and lifestyle coach. When you read a little bit more about pathologies such as diabetes, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, or other cardiovascular disease, obesity, whether it is from the CDC or from the official websites, they always tell you that for most of those diseases, it runs in the family. So that's one factor. And the second factor is what they call environmental factors. So what are environmental factors? Diet, and lifestyle, right? And so
Mhm.
what we mean by lifestyle, just want to point this out, is not just what you do every day, you exercise or what have you, but it's also your thoughts, your mindset, right? And whether or not you are struggling with anxiety, with some degree of depression, this also is about addressing lifestyle. This is what we address when we speak of lifestyle in Ayurvedic medicine.
Wow, that's a wonderful explanation. I was just having a conversation the other day with someone about this because we tend to think, okay, health is what is this diet and this form of eating, and having these forms of fruits and vegetables. However, from what the little that I know about the vast knowledge of Ayurveda is that we all have our own unique tendencies, and health isn't just a diet that is trending. So, can you go more into the details of what makes up our unique individual, I guess, being of health and wellness, and how do we begin to understand what our personal tendencies are?
Yes, it's interesting that in the field of nutrition, we have a tendency to address or to look at things as one size fits all. Yet, in every other field, we realize how unique we are. So it makes sense that we are also unique in the way that, or in the nutrition, right, that we need for our own unique tendencies, or like you said, being, which I like to call psychosomatic, constitution, right? Psychosomatic constitution, mind body constitution. So how you go about that is that the beauty, I think, and the ingenuity of Ayurvedic medicine is that it is truly a customized medicine. It really addresses your unique tendencies, how you uniquely have a tendency to digest certain foods or not, for example. So um, one of the easiest way I can describe this is that we all know that broccoli, for example, is a very healthful food. Yet some of us have a tendency to have more gas and bloating when we eat foods like broccoli or cruciferous foods, as they're called. Yeah, right. So it doesn't mean that you have to not eat broccoli at all, but then what Ayurvedic medicine offers is to make you understand that yes, you do have trouble digesting them. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a tendency. And so it will either say, well, you want to have more of certain types of foods. And if you really want to have broccoli, then cook it in a certain way so that you can easily digest it, right? So it really understands who you are and how you function, right? And
Mhm.
then gives you tools to function at your optimum,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I can definitely relate with that because I used to go into these diets of raw vegan and eating like this and eating like that based on nutrition trends that were happening in those times. And what I realized was, maybe my body wasn't digesting the foods in the right way, or I didn't feel so energized, or I just felt a little bit off balance. So I can definitely attest to that because after I met you, I started going deeper into, okay, what are my tendencies? What are my unique, health components that make up my own body? And as the more I went into that, the more I found balance within my mind and my body, because the mind is also part of health. It's not just how you look, it's how you feel and what your thoughts are made up of. So one thing that I love that you offer is a free quiz to find out what these tendencies are. And I know that tendencies is a great word that you use to describe these very complex groups of tendencies called doshas. Can you please briefly and basically explain what doshas are and and which ones they are?
Yes, absolutely. So in Ayurvedic medicine, we have three main doshas: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And so I like to call them tendencies because the real meaning of dosha is that which decays,
Mm,
right? So it's really interesting to understand that it is not who we are. It is the way that we may go out of balance.
mhm,
It is all the unique ways that we may go out of balance. So when we look at Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, these are specific characteristics or qualitative tendencies, right? And so when we approach Ayurvedic medicine, there are two things that we want to understand. We want to understand what I call our psychosomatic constitution, meaning the unique nature or constitution of who we are physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, right? With the understanding that it gives us an idea of how we can uniquely go out of balance. So we look at the psychosomatic tendencies, and then we look at the nature of the imbalance that you are experiencing now, right? And so, how we address it is that we understand from the perspective of Ayurvedic medicine is that like attracts like. So we understand or we recognize the characteristics in the foods that you eat, and if you eat a whole lot of the foods that have similar characteristics to your tendencies, then chances are you're going to experience symptoms. That's what we call imbalance. And so, as much as like attracts like, the opposite brings balance. So, we address the nature of the imbalance first, or the characteristics of the imbalance first, and then we bring the opposite characteristics of that those of the imbalance to bring balance. As simple as that. So the short Ayurvedic quiz that I offer is just to give people a taste, right? I cannot, with such a short questionnaire, answers answer all of your question or find out all of the ways, all of the characteristics of your imbalance. But I will pinpoint one specific imbalance, especially if I think that this is what affects all the other aspects. And then I will do a personal video feedback on that, giving you one recommendation so that you get a taste of how Ayurvedic medicine can work uniquely for you.
That's amazing. Yes, like we, kind of covered here, Ayurveda is such a vast topic, and you do such a great job of simplifying it. So thank you so much for being a sponsor of the Mind Body Expo. You truly are an inspiration to me, my team, and hopefully to all of you watching. Please, take advantage of this free quiz and get a taste of what your dosha is. And for anybody that wants to learn more about what Lo Carter does, you can check out her website. She has phenomenal courses. And before we close off, can you please share with us the recent course that you released?
Yes, I released an online course called Boosting Your Immune Defense with Ayurveda. So the Ayurvedic way to strengthen your immune defenses, especially appropriate for these times. But remember, we want to strengthen our immune system for the rest of our life, right?
Yeah.
Not just when the crisis happens. It would be like thinking about building getting some water at the time when your house is on fire. No, you want to build a well and getting water before your house gets on fire. So that's appropriate now and in the future. It's a video. There are several videos in this course, and it's a self-paced course. And from what I've heard, it's really thorough. It guides you one step at a time. It's a fantastic system to follow.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Laure. I really appreciate your time and your knowledge and really inspiring us with all of your wisdom with Ayurveda. And thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please, if you'd like to get more information about Laure, visit her website, follow her on social media, and you can also reach out to her personally with the email that is scrolling in the title below. Thank you all for watching.